Now I'm going to show you a video. I wanted to do this a while back, but I didn't get to it. I want to show you how to cook a simple steak. I spent 12 or 15 years in the meat industry as a meat wrapper. That's the guy that wraps all these packages of steak. So I've had just a whole lot of practice with that. But other things too. Now these are my knives right here. This is your standard, I think it's 11-inch from Forstner, made in Switzerland. This one is about 20 years old. I don't use it very much. I just want to show you. This is your common Forstner, about, I don't know, 8 or 11, 7 inch. I think it's 7 or 6 inches, something like that. And of course, I've got my holder right here with it. Now, when you go into a store and look for a steak, this is what I want to point out from my observation of doing this in the meat department for 23,000 hours. First of all, let's get a couple of myths out of the way. Some people come in and they see a steak or hamburger that is red on the outside and it's darker brown on the inside, and they say, well, you must put dyes in that. Well, let me say right now that in all my years in the meat department in a really big store, we don't put dyes in anything. All right, there's a reason for when hamburger rolls out of a big giant 500-pound mixer grinder. You got to remember that inside that grinder there is a little hole, and we make these big blocks, not blocks, but they're like a round tube of hamburger that looks like a solid tube. It's not. There is a hole in the middle. Now, when you go up to the meat department and they break off a chunk of that for you, you look inside it and it's brown. Well, I would say, like this color here. But on the outside, it's really, really red. And you say, okay, they put dye in it. No. What's happened is the meat has bloomed. What meat does when air hits the blood in it, it blooms a bright red and then slowly fades to brown. And if left out, these two steaks would turn brown. That's just normal. And usually a steak lasts in a meat counter about 3 days. And then I'm going to give you some secrets on what to look for and how to cook them the way I cook them. I'm not a chef, like I said. I do everything like my paint work. I do it 150%. It may not be the most portrait, beautiful work in the world, but it's done right. So that's what I'm going to show you about the steaks. Okay, video 2.